Hello students, today we are going to start science session 3, unit number 9, elements, compounds and mixtures. We have already discussed two topics of this chapter, and we have discussed in previous topics that what are elements, what are chemical symbols, and we have discussed the exercise also. Okay, now let's recall previous topic, and today we will start next topic, metals and non-metals. Okay, and in this topic we will discuss that how can we differentiate between metals and non-metals, and what are their properties, how can we identify metals, how can we identify non-metals, and after that we'll try to solve this exercise. Now, what did we discuss about element? We have discussed that element is a pure substance. And what are pure substances? A pure substance is a substance in which there is only one type of particles. And what is element? The definition of element is elements are pure substances. So each element only contains one type of particle. For example, every particle in a 5 gram nugget of the element gold is like every other particle. So every element has a unique properties, unique set of properties, unique characteristics, okay, and these properties don't depend on the amount of materials present in a sample of the element. Okay, now we have discussed about different elements, and I told you this is a boron, this is carbon, the symbol of carbon is C, symbol of boron is B, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, and so many elements you can see here. Okay, but today, okay, and we have discussed exercise also. Now our today's topic is metals and non-metals. So I told you that we are going to discuss about metals and non-metal. Okay, you have studied about periodic table. I told you, I've already explained this in class. So this is the table, and this table is known as periodic table. Now all these chemical substances from group 1 to group 12, you can see, and all these elements which are shaded by blue color are known as metals, and all these are non-metals. Okay, you can see this boundary wall, all these elements are non-metals. Now they have different names, different symbols and different properties. So our today's main focus is on that. We have to discuss about the properties, and we will discuss how can we identify them. Okay, students, elements can be sorted into groups according to their properties, as I told you that. And how do we sort it out them? We see that are they dull, are they shiny, or we see about their states. We try to find out, are they solid or are they liquid, so, or are they gas. So probably the simplest way of classifying elements is by dividing them into metals and non-metals. So let's see, the main difference between metals and non-metals are shown in the table. So this is the table, and we have written properties of metals in this column and properties of non-metals in this column. Students, metals are generally they are hard, but non-metals are not solid and not hard. Okay, usually gases or solids, but generally metals are hard and solid. Okay, and non-metals are solid, but we see they are liquid also, and they are in gaseous state also. Because metals are in gaseous state or liquid state, and they are sometimes solid, but they are not hard like metals. So that is why metals do not melt easily, But here you can see usually gases or solids which melt easily because they are not hard just like metals solid, so their melting point is low, they melt easily. Next point, metals are dense and they feel heavy, but if we compare non-metals, they are not very dense and they feel light. Metals are shiny, they give shiny appearance when polished, and the example of shiny metals are jewelry if we polished it, silver, in jewelry silver, gold, okay, and non-metals give us dull appearance generally, for example carbon, and so many other examples are there. Okay, now metals have high melting and boiling points because they are very hard, and force of attraction between the particles of the solid metals is very strong, okay, and force of attraction between non-metals is not strong, so that is why their melting points are low and their boiling points are also very low, and melting and boiling points of metals are very high. Now students, metals are malleable. It means that we can change the shape of the metals easily as we use jewelry in different shapes. For example, we make jewelry of gold, silver and copper. So why and how we can use jewelry of different shapes and different styles? Because we can bend metals easily. And if we compare non-metals, so they are brittle, they break easily, and they are present in the powdery form. Okay, now powdery form is also known as amorphous form. Okay, now metals are good conductor of heat and non-metals are poor heat conductors. They are good heat insulator. Good heat insulator mean they do not conduct heat, or they are poor heat conductor. And electricity, metals are good conductors of electricity and non-metals are poor electrical conductors. Now metals are sonorous, make a ringing sound when hit, and non-metals are not sonorous, they do not make sound when they are ringing. Okay, these are the difference of metals and non-metals. And students, here you can see that they have written that in this book you can see an easy way of checking whether an element is a metal or a non-metal is to see if it conducts electricity. If we have a metal, if we have any substance and we do not know that it's metal or non-metal, so what do? We try to conduct electricity, and if it produces electricity, it means that it is a metal. And if it does not produce electricity, if it doesn't conduct electricity, it means that it is a non-metal. But one main thing is that one non-metal, carbon, can conduct electricity, but carbon has different states. Okay, so it has three forms. So one form of carbon is graphite. Okay, there are three forms of carbon, and these three types are diamond, graphite and buckyball. So one form of carbon, okay, and the name of this form is graphite. This form of carbon also conducts electricity, and keep in mind carbon is a non-metal. Only carbon in the form of graphite conducts electricity. Okay, now students, we have discussed this this topic, and in next video we will solve question answer. I will solve question answer and I will explain also. Hope you understand this lecture, and if you have any question you can ask me in school timing. Okay, now just see this circuit. Okay, how we can see how electricity conducts. This is apparatus set to test material. What do? That we apply a switch and we set battery. Okay, now we have applied bulb and crocodile clips, from where we can have an idea that we can switch on and off. Okay, and when electrons go from one place to another place, okay, what happens that electricity conducts, and if electricity does not conduct,